All right.
Awesome. All right, let's go ahead and kick things off. So do you mind if I screen share really quickly?
Sure. Here, let's just make sure. Okay, yeah, it looks like we're live. All right, go ahead. Let's dive in.
All right, let's do this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pocketsuite Modern Dog Trainer webinar. My name is Kim. I am part of the customer success team here. The team at Pocketsuite is very excited about this partnership, and we hope that all of you enjoy what we have co-created together with Inez. To kick things off, because this is the Modern Dog Trainer edition, I wanted to start with a fun dog fact. Did you know that the reasons dogs curl up is because of an old age instinct to keep themselves warm and to protect their vital organs while they sleep? So just a fun fact. With that said, let's jump right into that presentation. So for today's webinar, we'll be walking through the following agenda. We're going to be walking through the setup process of the Modern Dog Trainer edition, how to customize the app and launching that for your business, where to find help, so customer support, how to get paid on Pocketsuite, which is our payment operations, and then some frequently asked questions. This presentation is about 45 minutes, so we'll leave some time at the end for questions. Otherwise, feel free to add them into the chat and we will get to them as the presentation rolls. If we don't get to your questions today, feel free to message the Pocketsuite support team, which is in-app. There's also a call banner on your home screen so that you can tap on that and someone will give you a call ASAP, or you can schedule a time for us to give you a call. We'll dive into a little bit more detail around where you can get support help towards the end of that presentation. So for those who have not signed up for the Modern Dog Trainer edition, we're going to walk you through that registration process in just a little bit. However, at a glance, once you've registered and have signed in, you will be greeted with this Modern Dog Trainer edition kind of call to action screen where you'll tap try free for 30 days. So what's really unique about the Modern Dog Trainer Signature Edition that's different than the regular dog edition that we have on Pocketsuite is really the exclusive content that you're going to get from Inez. That is super valuable for what you're getting, because it's really going to help you grow a successful dog training business. Inez, do you want to talk a little bit about some of that content?
Yes, I would love to, because it is such a good deal. I have to admit, these are, what I put in here are things that I recommend, my private students, my coaching students to do with their businesses. So here you're getting access to loads of examples, templates, those kinds of things for a highly discounted rate. And it's in a platform that's really allowing you to hit the ground running, right? It's already built in there for you. So you don't have to get anything set up, and you're automatically using things that are, what I believe to be best practices for your dog training business. So this is why I'm super excited to be able to provide this. And I just love what Pocketsuite is up to and what you guys are doing, all the different features that are well on their way and already here. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it today.
Same, ready to share all the goodies with all of you.
Yes.
So let's dive into what that looks like. So this is a very high level overview. It's the visual of the setup process. So what you're going to see in the app will be slightly different than what you see here as a visual. However, the workflow will be very similar. You're going to see a schedule, services. You're going to be selecting from a curated list of defaults that Inez has created just for all of you. So kind of going backwards a little bit, we're going to start with the registration process. I have included the link, the referral link for all of you to register if you have not registered already. It's going to take you through a series of prompts, fairly straightforward. One is selecting your industry, so dog training. 2, it's adding your name. 3, adding your email address. for your phone number, as well as your zip code, which is going to automatically determine the time zone. And then you're going to sign in. If you're registering on a computer, you will be prompted to download the app on a mobile device. The desktop version of Pocketsuite is web-based. So we hear this quite often in support where I don't see the app on my computer. It is a web-based version, so you're going to want to log in from an internet browser like Google Chrome, Safari, Internet Explorer, versus the app itself is going to be available on mobile as well as on tablets. And so when you sign in, it will be sending a verification code to your phone in which you can then use that verification code to log in to Pocketsuite. So on the screen, we really want you to get up and running in 15 minutes. We want you to download the Modern Dog Trainer Edition and get set up in 15 minutes and be ready to go. So what does that actually look like when we break it down? What can you expect? So super silly, easy onboarding. And what that means is selecting from a curated list of settings and services. So that is, creating your schedule and then adding these default services, classes, packages, subscriptions. From there, you can add the contract and the form that Inez has also uploaded into the app for you. And we can also add custom contracts and forms if you have your own. You can just send that over to support and we'll take care of importing that into the app. Part 3 is completing your profile. So adding a photo of yourself, your business description. What does your cancellation policy look like? 4, how do you want to get paid on Pocketsuite? There's a lot of fees that maybe are involved in, besides just the standalone price of a service. It could be a gratuity, it could be a sales tax, it could be a discount, it could be a surcharge. So we have those additional options for you to customize. 5 is then adding your clients into the app, and 6, booking your first appointment. So selecting from defaults, making some customized adjustments, adding your clients, booking your first appointment. So we really want it to be super easy and very seamless. So this is, again, the home screen that you're going to see once you've registered. You'll simply download Pocketsuite on the App Store if you have an iPhone, or the Google Play Store if you have Android. Once you sign in, you'll again be greeted by this home screen, and you'll tap on the try free for 30 days to get started. Once you have signed in, you will see a tile that looks like this where it says the Modern Dog Trainer. Skipping back to the previous slide, once you tap on Get Started, you'll be taken to the schedule screen. So here the hours are preset Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 12. If this doesn't work for you, no worries. You're going to simply tap on Edit, and you're going to edit the specific day. So let's say, for example, you don't actually work on Mondays. Once you drill in and you tap on Edit, it's going to show you the full schedule. So it's going to show you Monday through Sunday, and you can simply toggle off Monday if you're off, or use the sliders to determine your hours of operation. Before we begin on kind of covering some of the defaults that are in the app, I do recommend to select all of the defaults during your onboarding process. So we call this the onboarding process. Select all of them, decide later if you want to make edits or if you want to delete it altogether. The reason I recommend that is that once you have gone through this onboarding flow, if you don't select a certain item, that item will not appear later on. So it's more like you want to put these items in your cart first. Then once it's in your cart, you want to then decide, okay, well, I do offer, a 1-hour puppy training. However, the price is not $100, it's $200. You can make edits there. Or ultimately, if it's not something that you offer, you can then delete it at the end, but I wouldn't deselect it at this stage. So here we have a curated list of services. So again, you can select from these items. You can edit them now or edit them later, which is the recommendation, and simply tap on next. These items, once you've selected it, will appear in the list of services in your account to your clients. So to see what that looks like in the app itself, here are the services that you're going to see. If you tap and select one of the services, that select button is automatically going to change to an edit button. So with the edit button, if you tap on that, you'll see this first screen right here, which is just going to show you the name and the price. If you wanted to drill down even further into the specific details of that service, you'll tap on Edit More Details, adjust what you need, tap on Save, and you'll simply be taken back to the Your Services screen. So as a recommendation, go ahead and just select all of them at this point, and then you can always edit them at the end. Classes work exactly the same way as services, so they are selected at the stage. You have the option to edit now or later. With classes, the main difference is that there must be a set start time and end time. You can also create classes with one lesson, so it's like a one-time class, or multiple lessons, and you can also do this on a repeating schedule. What's also really popular with dog trainers are open enrollment classes, which is a flexible start date, yet they're still locked into that set number of sessions, or something like a series where you're locked in from the start through the end of that series. And then single drop-ins are classes where you can offer them on a repeating schedule. And if a client wants to come one Wednesday, but not the next Wednesday, that will be a single drop-in.
Right, and that open enrollment functionality is possible in here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're going to see that once you edit the class itself, there's going to be a class type, and from there you can select single, drop-in, series, as well as open enrollment.
Beautiful.
And so within the Modern Dog Trainer edition, you'll also see default packages as well as subscriptions. So again, go ahead and select all of them, decide later on if you want to edit them, use them as is, or maybe just simply turn it off and decide that you want to use it later on. Next is the contracts and forms screen. So you're going to see two separate screens, one for contracts, another one for forms. They're going to follow one after another. So on the screen, you're going to want to, again, add the defaults to your account. We do have a tip, which is prior to using the contract itself, I recommend making a copy. It's nice to have an original. And then if you make the copy, you can then make edits as need be, and then use that as is. But you will always have the original to work off of should a contract maybe change down the line, or you wanted to update one for the new year. You always have that templated original contract to use. From there, once you've selected all of the defaults, we're going to dive into some fun things, some customizable options within Pocketsuite, which is where do you meet your clients? So there is an option for it's a mix. You do, at your location, at your client's location, virtually. So you'll usually want to pick it's a mix. Otherwise, if you have a specific location where you provide all of your training, you'll select at my location, for example. Getting paid on Pocketsuite, here's a few different options. What that looks like is that there is a cancellation policy, which you can set. Credit card is always set to always require. This is extremely important and something I want to call out because it does help the client to follow through with their appointment in a sense, because they know that they have a card on file. It also makes it super easy on your part as the provider to simply charge them for the appointment at the time of the appointment. So you don't have to worry about having that conversation with them at the end about, can I get your credit card or how would you like to pay? You already have that, and it's a simple, like, tap the button to charge, and the rest is taken care of. The other thing here is surcharge, sales tax, gratuity, and discounts. So these are all features that you can decide as a business owner whether or not you want to turn off or leave on. So surcharge is passing on a 3% fee to your clients. So what that looks like is a normal processing fee on Pocketsuite is 2.9%. plus 30 cents per transaction. And so if we take an easy number like 100, if you have the surcharge toggled on, your client is going to be paying $103. What you will get as a payout will then be $99.70. So you'll be covering the 30 cents while the client covers the 3%, 2.9% rounded up to 3 in this case. So you have the option to turn that on or off. There's also sales tax if you want to turn that on or off. That depends on the location that you're in. So based on the location that you add, it will automatically find that sales tax for that area. Gratuity. So gratuity, there's a few different options. You can set a suggested gratuity, and you can set it at the time the client books you, or you can also set it at the time of final checkout, which is at the end of the appointment, or you can do it at both the checkout process as well as the booking process. So there's a few different options there. And then discounts, whether or not you provide discounts to clients, you can toggle that on and then set that up on the appointment or client level. We're reaching the end. So at this stage, you're going to create your profile and setup is complete. Didn't take too long. It was probably exactly 15 minutes. So what that looks like here is you're going to add a photo. So that could be a photo of yourself, and dogs, something that really encompasses your business, and then your business description. And from here, you'll see a congrats screen. And at this stage, I would suggest tapping on the dashboard, which will then take you back to the home screen. And that's where we're going to get you set up to accept payments on Pocketsuite.
Awesome. We did have a question that came up about the business profile there. She asked, I noticed it gives my actual name rather than the business name. Can I change this?
Yes. So you're going to want to go to settings, business, and then business name. And that's where you're going to want to adjust it.
Awesome.
So on the screen, it's going to be how we process payments on Pocketsuite. We just need some kind of identifying information. So in this case, it's tell me about your business. And then you're going to see a follow-up screen where it says, tell me about yourself. So just some information about how long you've been in business, what exactly do you offer, some information about yourself, and our payments team will typically verify that information, I want to say within 24 to 48 hours. Or 1 to 2 business days to be more exact. Once they verified that information, they'll send you a message in the app to say that you are now eligible to process payments on Pocketsuite and to get paid out for those payments on Pocketsuite. And from there, you're pretty much ready to get started.
Awesome.
So I'm going to quickly walk through the app. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to screen share something else instead.
We did have a question come in on the price of this signature edition. Is that something that we can cover now or later?
We can definitely cover that now. What specifically is the question?
She said she's not sure what the price is beyond the first 30 days. So obviously there's a 30-day free trial, but then what does the price look like after that?
Yeah, it should be on the home screen. So before you tap on the try free for 30 days, there is a bottom section that says post 30 days, what that price is. And I believe that's $29.99 a month.
Yeah, so it's just $10 more a month than the normal basic
Correct.
version that has nothing set up for you from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to do another screen recording. Right, let's try this. All right, does everyone see my iPhone?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna move this over. So once you have completed the onboarding flow, this is the screen that you're going to see to complete that business information. So you're going to tap on Start Now. There's a video. It's going to ask you about your business. I'm just skipping it for now. It's going to ask you a little bit about yourself. You're going to add in a checking account as well as a payment card. So the checking account is where your payouts are going to go to, versus your payment card is where the subscription will be charged. So that monthly subscription fee will be charged in the card versus your client payouts will go to your checking account.
Yes.
And then you'll kind of reach the success screen and you're ready to get booked. So in the slide that I wanted to cover, this is all about customizing a service or creating a service that's maybe not already in the app. So if you wanted to create your own, you will simply go to the settings, the gear icon. You'll go to services and you have one of two options here. You can tap on that plus sign on the upper right-hand corner to create a brand new service. And you'll just walk through the series of prompts here. Or you can take one of the curated services that Inez has created and maybe make some slight adjustments. So let's say that I don't offer a private lesson for $250. I offer it for $200. I can simply tap on that service. A bottom sheet rolls up and I can tap on edit. What the share booking link means is that you can copy the link to this particular service and you can send it to a client. What copy service means is that it's going to create a duplicate copy of exactly the same, but all you would need to do is adjust the title of the service. So for example, with private lesson, this is an hour long. Let's say that I also offer a 30-minute private lesson, but I don't want to recreate a brand new private lesson. I can tap this, tap on copy, and it populates all the same information. I just need to adjust the name and adjust the duration, maybe adjust the price, and then I'm ready to go. So I don't have to start from scratch. In the example of the private lesson, I'm going to edit this. And you can see here that it's toggled on to show online. So what this means is that clients will then be able to see the service online and be able to book you for this service. Now you might be asking, what does that look like exactly to my clients? So I'm going to show you. You're going to want to scroll down to online booking. This is under the marketing suite section. You're going to tap on this. There's a few different options here to kind of beautify your online booking. So I recommend replacing this blue block with maybe a photo from your gallery or a photo from our gallery. You can tap on this, tap on view our library. There's other color blocks, or you can select from photos.
Cute. I love that.
Okay. So let's say I want the Frenchie. All right. So if I tap on share up at the top, I'm going to want to preview. So this is the walkthrough of the client experience. So I'm going to actually sign out and I'm going to book. I'm going to pretend that I'm a new client and I'm going to book Kim testing for a private lesson. So I'm going to scroll and I'm going to find that private lesson, and it's right here for $250. I'm going to select that. Actually, I'm going to work backwards just a little bit. I'm also going to attach one of the contracts and the forms to the service. So you could see what that full experience would look like. So I'm going to scroll back down to service and edit. I'm going to add that contract. So let's say it's the new client intake. I'm going to attach the intake form, which is 76 questions.
You're welcome.
I'm going to tap on save. And let's go back through to the online booking. I'm going to share. I'm going to preview. Let's book now. So I already had this logged in the cart. So it's really important for your clients to see what they've added into the cart. So if they want to start over, or they decide, I actually don't want the private lesson, I want the behavioral consultation, they want to remove it and then reselect what they want. So let's go back through to the private lesson. Let's add that to my cart. We're going to tap on next, and here I get to pick the date. So I want Friday. And here I get to pick time. So because I'm on Pacific time, it's going to show as Pacific time, 10 a.m. This one is the client selects location. So this is where your clients would add in their location. I'm going to just plug in Los Angeles. Here is where they're going to verify, we're going to verify that they're an actual human being booking you. So if you happen to have international clients, or if you have clients that don't have a mobile number, like a landline, for example, they can also sign in with email. So that's down below at the bottom. Nice. They'll receive a verification code to their email instead. So we're going to plug this in. I'm going to receive a code. And here it's going to ask me some basic information that will eventually populate into a client profile. So my full name, my email address, and then here, this is an optional field, but if there's any particular information that I would like to share. Here again, because credit card is required, I'm going to add the credit card on file. So you can see here that the credit card information is actually not shared with the service provider. So you yourself you do not have access to the client's 16-digit credit card information. You simply have the option to charge the card at the time of the appointment, or for the cancellation fee to trigger if they happen to cancel within that cancellation window. Let's go ahead and plug in a card. And this cancellation policy, where this is currently located, is under settings, cancellation, and then cancellation policy. So you can make edits as you see fit. Going to tap on next.
Yeah, as you see, like that default cancellation policy is what I've contributed. Like that's, you know, what I would recommend people use to start out with. They can customize it, but it at least gives you a starting point. And kind of a best practice to make sure people show up.
Exactly. So here is that form. So I'm going to type in my name first. I'm going to tap on next. Oh, this is a private form. Okay, this is a good one to understand. So I'm going to flip back really quickly on what it means for a form to be a private form. So what a private form means is that this form is filled out by the provider and not by the client. So to kind of get into the details of that, we're going to go to forms, tap on intake, and tap on edit form. So you can see here that toggle of for clients to complete is currently off. So if you want the clients to fill it out, you'll want to turn it on. And then at this point, once you've attached it and it's on, it then prompts the client to fill it out.
Yeah, no, I love that. And one of the reasons I have it set to private is because, you know, a lot of times you want to be there in person and really walk through the questions that you need to ask to fully understand the situation. Or you can do it over the phone with somebody or through Zoom with somebody. But often when you go through it together, you're going to get more accurate responses from the client than you would if they are just kind of guessing at what answers they should be inputting. Because what you're asking and what they interpret can often be different things. So yeah, but obviously your business, feel free to use it however you think is going to be a best fit for you.
Yeah, and also just to piggyback off of that response, the always require is also something where if you want every client, whether it's new or existing, every booking, if you want that client to complete it, then you'll also want to turn this on. Otherwise, if it's off, it simply means that once a client completes it, they no longer have to complete it again. So I'm going to turn it back to its original settings. So in this case, we're going to go back to services, and I'm just going to remove it from here so that you can see the full booking flow with the contract and what that looks like to your clients. Let's see if I can go back. So here is the payment screen again. Let's go ahead and retype that information.
Somebody's asking if you can change the default to asking for an email to log in or create an account. Can you make the email the default option, or is it always going to be the phone number?
Yep, I will circle back on that. It is a setting. So it's probably because I'm already logged, but let's start from the beginning. So I'm going to go back to that main booking site. I'm going to tap on book now. Let's do the private lesson again. Let's pick a different date, a different time. It's because I had this one originally logged. So it does show you that if you accidentally pick more than one date, it's going to give you a pop-up that says, you've selected more than one date. Is that really what you want to do? So it really calls out just in case a client is like, oh, I really didn't want that date. I wanted a different date. It will make sure that they're only picking one unless they are intending to pick more than one. So now there's one. We're going to flip through these screens. We're going to go through this verification process again. Here, this email address, we can definitely make that required. So I'll circle back on how we do that. The credit card's already logged. So this is what happens if your client has already booked you and they want to book you again. It's going to show this on their screen. So if they wanted to add a new card, they're simply going to tap on add new card. No, it keeps getting logged. It's probably because it's indexed on this account. In any case, what's going to happen is that this form is not going to be there. It's going to simply say contract. You're going to see that contract here, and it's going to be in digital form. And then you're going to simply see a signature portion, and that signature portion that client can sign with their finger, and then the appointment is then confirmed. So to go back to the question around making that email required, you're going to go down to online leads under settings. There's 4 questions. This email address here, you're going to want to toggle it so it's required. So it's currently set to not required. You're going to want to toggle it on to require and then tap on save. Okay, I'm going to also show you how to manually schedule your clients. So if you wanted to manually schedule your clients, any sort of transaction that you're going to have with your clients will happen on the home screen versus any sort of settings that you're trying to create or to edit is going to happen on the settings side of things. So if you wanted to sell your clients a package, that will be on the home screen. You'll tap on package, you'll tap on either the plus sign or you'll tap on sell a package. There's also a few different options here where you can filter by the types of packages as well. Maybe you sent one, but it hasn't been paid yet. So there's a few different options. Same with subscriptions. And then lastly, if you were to schedule a client, you can select the client's name. Let's say that the service is the private lesson. So here you can see it's $250 for an hour. It will then populate the information here. $250. It's going to add the location because I've already added it for myself. And then you could see that the contract here is also pre-populated because I've attached it to that service. So everything's connected.
Yeah, I love it. One of my favorite features is the packages because as we all know, 90% of the time, it's going to take more than one lesson to make some progress in training. Often you see really great results after the first lesson, but a lot of people like to have multiple lessons to just really see things through. So I have some default packages set up. And what's really cool is that if somebody buys a package, you can book them, like the services that are in that package, kind of on yourself, or I think they can go in and book themselves. And it kind of just like pulls from that package what they've already used up. So
exactly. So as long as the session, once the package is active, meaning that it's been paid for, then any session that is booked thereafter that happens to be a part of that package will automatically be applied to that package, deducted and tracked.
Yes, yes. It's like really, really important functionality.
Yeah, and it kind of just keeps everything in one place as well. So if your client has one, session left, if they want to renew their package. Mm-hmm. So going to hop back into the presentation a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Heidi is asking, are there tutorials for this version in the settings?
There are not tutorials specifically, but all the features that we have on Pocketsuite all work the same way. So I can send some information around how packages work or how subscriptions work, and then using that as an idea of how it's going to be reflected in the app. All right, so we're going to dive into, customer support. We started here and we're going to dive into customer support. So really with customer support, we're trying to provide, of course, like simple, friendly, knowledgeable information. We don't want it to feel like you're calling the cable company and not getting the help that you need. So our goal is to provide a world-class customer experience. You might have talked to me on the phone one time. You might have interacted with me in support. So there's definitely human beings on the other side of the computer screen. There's no robots. Our hours of operation is 7 days a week, from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time on weekdays, and then slightly limited hours on the weekends, which is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. Where can you get your help? Because we mainly provide text message support, definitely message us in app. That will be that message icon on the home screen down at the bottom. And then you're going to tap on Pocketsuite support. You can also email us at this email address, support@pocketsuite.io. If you have a client list that you need imported, if you have your own contracts and forms that you need imported, feel free to also send that over to support. We have a full imports team that's able to help with that. And typically when you message support, you can expect a response from us, I want to say in minutes, if not within a couple of hours. We want to make sure that we're getting your question answered properly and thoroughly. And sometimes that means that we just need a little bit of time to dig into, and what the issue is or what exactly is the question. But we are, it is a priority of ours to make sure that we're answering that question for you.
Awesome. Heidi says that she's found the support to be very wonderful.
Awesome. Yay. That's what I like to hear.
Yes,
if it's not also something that I want to hear to make sure that we correct that. So with what types of questions can support help with? Basically everything and anything. We understand that running a business on your own is really tough. And we want to make sure that we're providing as much support as possible, even if that means that, you just want a space to vent and tell me about your day and the experience that you had with your client, and trying to make that easier in the app. Like, we want to hear all of those stories. So really any questions, specifically, any sort of account setup questions about features within the app. How do they work? How do I optimize them? Future improvement suggestions. Like, we want to hear your feedback. And of course, any technical concerns that do come up, we're here to troubleshoot them for you. If you're switching platforms or you have items that you need added into the app, like you have a website with everything that you offer, and it just feels like a very daunting feat to add all of them into the app, we have a full onboarding and imports team that can assist you with that. So I hope that you take us up on that offer, because we want to take care of that admin work for you. Don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. We know the Pocketsuite app very well, so let us do it for you. Feel free to just email that over to support@pocketsuite.io, and we'll be able to do that. We also offer an onboarding call. So what that typically means is that you'll schedule a call with us roughly 2 to 3 days in the future. And within those 2 or 3 days, we're going to gather some information from you about your business, and then add all of those details into the account for you, record a video walkthrough of what we've added, how it works. So we're really trying to make sure that the app is working for you. So if there's any takeaway from support, it's reach out to us for help. And if you need onboarding help, please ask for it. And we have a specific link that we can send to you to get that process started.
Yeah, no, that's truly like another thing that makes you guys so incredible is like this free migration from one software to another is usually something that people have to pay almost thousands of dollars for sometimes. So to the fact that you guys are fully there and offering that for free just to help people find a better solution for them is amazing.
Yeah, and we love doing it. I love learning about how all of the businesses operate, and I've learned so much by doing these sorts of onboarding calls. I love understanding how different dog trainers, structure their business, or how different beauty estheticians structure their business. It's really interesting, and it's really fun, and it's a nice way for us to also, connect with our customers beyond just from a support side of things. And lastly, a question that we get quite often is, do we offer phone support? So for your first 30 days, you will see a call banner on your home screen. You can tap on that banner and you can request for a call ASAP, or you can schedule a call with us. So you can pick a date and time that works best for you based on the hours that we offer call support. And we'll give you a ring during that time. If we happen to not reach you, we will also send you a message in app just to let you know, hey, you might have received a call from a number that you don't recognize, but it's us, Pocketsuite. Let us know if we can give you a call right back. Otherwise, after the 30 days, we do offer call support through scheduled calls. So typically this will occur if maybe your question isn't getting fully answered. Maybe there's some slight miscommunication via text. We're going back and forth a little bit. We will then send over a call link, or feel free to ask for one like, hey, I think we just need to get on the same page, and that's easier on the phone than via text. can you send me a call link? We'll send one over, and our call times are usually available within 24 to 48 hours. Now, if it's something that's a little bit more urgent, like my client is sitting here and I need help with this ASAP, which sometimes does happen, we do have multiple call members in support. So they're more than willing to hop on and to help resolve that issue for you.
Beautiful.
And lastly, payment operations. So our payments team is not in this meeting today, but so I'm going to cover some just important high-level information on their behalf. So what does the verification process look like? You're going to be asked some basic identification information. So that's your name, your date of birth, the last 4 digits of your social. None of this information is shared. It's definitely private within our payments team. I don't have access to this. And then some information about your business. So, if you have any social media presence, if you have a website, just so that they can dig a little bit deeper into your business and how long you've been around. Typically, the first couple of payments might be reviewed for risk management. This is the first time that you're processing payments on Pocketsuite. This is the first time Pocketsuite is processing payments for you. So we definitely want to make sure that those payments are legitimate and that there's no red flags. So it might be there might just be a little bit of a delay there, but typically what payments look like on Pocketsuite is that as long as you process a payment with the client by 12 p.m. Pacific time, your payout will be in your account the next business day.
Wow,
so
that's fast.
Yeah. And there's no extra fees to that, just in your account the next business day. Obviously, if it's a holiday or a weekend, it will land that business day. But yeah, it's fast. You don't have to worry about it. And then we also send out a notification to you that you have like a pending payout and when you're going to get that money and how much of it. Processing fees, again, 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. If you want to pass off that 3% over to your clients, you're going to want to turn on that surcharge feature. We also have something called instant payout. So if you wanted to get instantly paid out or to cash out your payment in a sense, we do have that option. It is an additional 1% on top of the 2.9 plus 30 cents, so 3.9 plus 30 cents if you decide you want that instant payout on. When it comes to refunds and disputes, this is something that our payments team will work very closely with you on. So refunds on Pocketsuite are not initiated by Pocketsuite. They are initiated by you, the pro. So if a client reaches out and says, hey, so-and-so, said that they were going to give me a refund, I don't see that yet, we connect with you and you initiate that refund on your end. How you do that on Pocketsuite, it's super simple. You simply just go to the home screen, tap on the client's name, the income that you've received from that client, the specific payment that you want to refund, and you tap on refund. What we do on our end is we help to facilitate and process that refund for you, but we won't initiate it on your behalf. And then in the event of disputes, which is very, very low in the dog training industry, is that if we do receive a dispute, Pocketsuite, the payments team, will work very closely with you just to gather some evidence on what to send in order to win that dispute, hopefully. So in a nutshell, this is what our payments operation team will do. If you have any questions about the 1099 taxes at the end of the year, the payments team will also be available to help with that as well.
Nice.
And the payments team also has support hours. They are a little bit more limited, but they work the same hours as our regular support team. So that's going to be 9 to 7 on weekdays and 9 to 5 on weekends. So I know we're on time. I'm going to try to run through this really quickly, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, no, that's perfectly fine. These are really important questions that I know our people are interested in hearing. So let's dive in.
Yeah. So a question that we hear a lot is setting up on mobile versus desktop. We are a mobile first business. So all of the features that you're going to see and everything that you can do is available on mobile. Desktop is, for the most part, I would say all of the core features are available on desktop. There might be certain things that are not available yet. For example, if you wanted to turn a feature on or off, you're going to have to do that on mobile. Otherwise, on desktop, you can edit a service, edit actually any service, class, package, subscription. You can add a new service, class, package, subscription. You can schedule clients. You can add or edit contracts and forms. You can send out invoices. You can charge clients. So all of the core features that we have that most of our providers use are available on desktop. Otherwise, there's just some kind of more minor features on mobile that are only available there. The onboarding process, so that workflow that we went through with the different screenshots, that's currently only on mobile. So I recommend going through that workflow on mobile. Once you've added everything onto your account, you can then make edits on desktop.
Nice.
2 is blocking out times on your calendar. So we have an option to do a calendar sync. So you'll find that under settings, calendar sync, and you can sync an external calendar into Pocketsuite. You can sync your Pocketsuite appointments out to your external calendar to make sure that the 2 calendars are talking to each other. Or you can simply just use the Pocketsuite calendar and add blocks. So how you would do that is you tap on the Pocketsuite calendar, select the date that you want the block. There is a plus sign. And from there, you have 2 options. You can either block out time or schedule a client. You can also create a block, not just for that day, but a repeating schedule as well. So if you have a lunch break every day from 12 to 1, you can definitely set a repeating block. What you'll want to do in that case with a repeating block is to make sure that under your settings features on mobile, you want to turn on the repeating appointments feature. That will trigger the repeating feature to be available when you block out your time.
Nice.
Something that I hear quite often from dog trainers is, where can I store vaccine details and add a reminder to myself to nudge the dog parent to send us new vaccine records? What we have done on Pocketsuite, it's more of a workaround, but it seems to have worked for a lot of our providers, is to have the pet owner send you a photo of the vaccine. Once you have that vaccine record in a photo form, you can save it into the client's profile in a note section. So you can call it, dog vaccine 2022. You can then add that image there. And then what you can also do is then set a task for yourself. So typically with vaccine records, there's an expiration date. You can simply just set a task for yourself on that expiration date or 1 week before the expiration date to then send a message out to your client to say, hey, the vaccinations are going to be expired soon. Please send me a new one. It's due in a week. So that's the recommendation of how to add the vaccine records in the account attached to the client profile, as well as sending a reminder to nudge them when it expires.
Nice.
4 is around storing and sending homework to clients, as well as lesson notes. So lesson notes, you can definitely set that within the appointment screen. Once you have scheduled a client for an appointment, there are client notes as well as client appointment notes. So within the appointment itself, there is a note section, and you can include notes from that appointment there. In regards to homework, we have an article around that, which I will send over to Inez and we can post in the Facebook group. It's a little bit more detailed around how to set that up, but you're going to use our forms feature for that. It's like a mix of a forms feature with a Google Doc, and it works pretty seamlessly around just nudging clients to kind of do the homework in this place, and then to make sure that it's submitted to you. So I'll send over some information there. Talked a little bit about calendar sync, which is the calendar feature. Again, all of this information is also on our Suite Center. So if you have any troubles on syncing your calendar or not knowing which calendar syncs into Pocketsuite, we have help articles there, but definitely possible. It's going to work kind of like a Calendly if you're familiar with that. Question 6 is around class types. So talked about that a little bit. Single drop-in series open enrollment. Once you have clients signed up or registered for the class, once you tap into the class, you'll see 2 different options. You'll see an option for looking at the roster, who has actually registered for that class, and you'll also see a message option. So this is super handy if the class is canceled for whatever reason and you needed to notify all of the clients or it's being rescheduled. You can tap on that message icon and it will automatically create a group message for everyone in that class so that you can send that message out in one swoop.
Nice.
Categories are super handy. So if you have, a ton of services, packages, subscriptions that you allow clients to purchase on your site, you definitely want to use categories. Categories is a really easy way, just so at a glance, you're kind of creating that path for your clients. So I've seen a few different ways. Some are private lessons, packages, subscriptions. Some are new clients versus existing clients, just so that if I'm a brand new client, I don't need to look through the list of services. I know exactly where I need to go. So that's a feature that also would recommend that you turn on under settings, features, categories.
Awesome.
The other thing is where to add your online booking. So once you've added your services and your classes and everything is ready to go, where do you add that booking link? I recommend adding it everywhere that clients can find you. So whether that's Google My Business, Yelp, Facebook, Instagram, you're simply going to add that URL, typically in the profile section or the website section of those pages. And if you have your website, like a Wix or a Squarespace, we can even embed a widget, like a Book Now or a Schedule Me Here widget, and then have that connect over to Pocketsuite. So once they tap that button, it takes them directly to your Pocketsuite booking page.
Perfect.
Appointment reminders, you can find that under settings, notifications. So these are global appointment reminders. So once you set it for 24 hours, for example, all your clients who then book you and you have appointments for will receive a 24-hour appointment reminder. You can also change that on the client level as well. So if you were to, let's say, schedule a client and this particular client is not a fan of the reminders, you can turn it off for that client.
Nice.
Yep. So there's that flexibility. Collecting payments on Pocketsuite. Most people, are processing payments for credit cards, which is what we offer on Pocketsuite. If they happen to pay you in cash or check or some other method on that appointment screen, you also have the option to mark paid. So mark paid means that you've accepted payment outside of the app, but you still want to make sure that that income is logged within Pocketsuite. So you'll tap on mark paid. It'll give you an option to kind of type in what was the amount and what was the payment method, whether that was cash, check, Venmo, and then that way you have a record of it. And then lastly, processing a payment, a refund on Pocketsuite. You'll just simply go to the client profile, history, their income that you've received from them, that specific payment, and then tap on the refund button and we take care of the rest. So I know I covered a lot today.
Yeah, I've got an important question that came up, and I think it's a good one to address for people that are already, set up and using Pocketsuite. If they want to upgrade to this edition, how does that impact what they already have set up? Is it going to make it a blank slate? Is it going to just add on to what they have? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would need to connect with our engineering team on that just because it's very specific, sort of a back end question. But ideally, would you like to keep all of your existing services plus get the additional modern dog trainer options as well?
Yeah, I think that's probably the preference, is that would be my guess.
Okay, perfect. Whoever wrote in about that, please message Pocketsuite support. You can tell them to pass this message to Kim, since we have just spoken about it. And I will make sure that we take care of that for you.
Awesome. Let's see if anything else. Some people are asking, how does this edition differ from the standard dog training edition? We did kind of go over that at the beginning, so you might want to watch the replay. Essentially, I've put in my templates, my forms, my best practices, my preferred settings, so that when you log in, it's really set up for success, right? You're set up with some default settings that are ready to help you hit the ground running without guessing about what you should do for every little setting that's there, basically.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think those are probably the most important questions that we should address today. And what's next?
Yeah. So this kind of ends my presentation. If there's any questions that comes up, specifically to your account or how to get it set up, or anything along those lines, feel free to message in Pocketsuite support. We have a full support team that's ready to help you.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you so much, Kim. I'm super excited to bring this to the dog training industry. It's really, really hard to find a platform that does it all, and Pocketsuite is really well on their way to doing that. So as soon as you guys started talking about how you've got automation set up in there, and you've got the desktop now accessible through desktop, I was like, okay, this is moving in a really, really good direction. So I'm excited to see what where we take it, and it's only going to get better. We're going to keep improving it. We're going to be contributing some stuff to it as we go. I think we'll just leave it at that.
Sounds good. I mean, we are very excited at Pocketsuite for this partnership, and we love being able to offer something like this with you and co-create it with you for your members, so that we can get, more dog trainers to run a successful business. And I think that's the goal. And we have, the same mission, and that just makes things, just a lot more exciting.
Yes, exactly. We want everybody to be successful and keep that, good work-life balance.
Agreed. Yes.
Yes. Awesome. All right. I'll let you go. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch. I think we'll be doing potentially another, at least I'll probably do another presentation at some point. And we'll keep everybody up to date on the new features in the app.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me today.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye.